Incoming audio transmission. Something's happening, Tenno.
Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of the WARFRAME Digest. Today we'll be going over Devstream 51 in the episode of the Digest 33. I'm always changing this, and we'll see what the team has gone over. I'm going to try to make this as small, as quick, and as short as possible, so excuse the sudden jump cuts and the very quick acceleration topics. So, what did they show? What did they do? What did they see? Well, this was talking about bosses, and more bosses, and potentially more things. So, real quickly, what was the first thing they talked about? They talked about Nathaniel and his upcoming rework. Currently, the next event will not show Nathaniel. Instead, the next major boss reworks that we'll see is Darkfreack, but Nathaniel will be having multiple events and multiple stages. They've showed Nathaniel's full shot, full body, and it's questionable. The groundwork for the final boss is still in the works, more's to come, and there's still a lot of processing for Nathaniel to happen, so there is no release date to be announced. They showed off the upcoming water tile set. The water tile set will show off some new enemies like this thing, and they talked about Sharkwing a bit more, which is the underwater Arcwing sections. They talked about the underwater Lancer being something of a frog lancer, and its main weapon will be a harpoon gun. They showed off Darkfreack once more with some extended animations, and they did officially announce that Update 17 will include Darkfreack as the next major boss release. They also showed off, after Darkfreack, Kayla the Thum. Kayla has still a lot of reworks going on, she's still very early in the concept stage, and her announcement is still to be determined. They talked about increasing boss fights and making them a lot more rewarding. There's trying this new system of diminishing returns rather than power immunity, so over time powers work less and less, and not just making them totally immune to certain damage where there's only like X amount of time to hurt them. So they're balancing out bosses, their stats, and the time to kill bosses. They also talked about J3 Golem. J3 Golem will be the major Arcwing boss, the first and only Arcwing boss as far as we know. He'll be part of the next major update, Update 17, at some point being the next trial. The next trial will always try to aim for one major update and things and so on. He will have some on-foot action and some Arcwing action that you'll have to go back and forth on, so that's very interesting. They also talked about Darkfreack, back to him again, and his weapons. They are messing and playing with the idea of getting boss weapons as potential drops. Currently, the only unique boss weapon that I have seen or I can acknowledge at this moment is Darkfreack's Sword and Shield, or Sword and Board. He might potentially drop it, and that might be potential loot in the future. And also they talked about the orbiter compartment. The orbiter compartment has been teased. There was one still that they talked about long ago that just disappeared into the ether, and they're showing it fully colored and fully textured this time around. The orbiter compartment is quite massive. Does this have any indication of having something more to the set when we're between missions? Who's to know? They also talked about the Nexus App and the Nexus rework coming to the app. They showed us a quick mock-up, and they are messing with the idea of login rewards being earned through this, and different ways to play and interact with the game through your mobile device. This is very interesting, it is very refreshing, and I might use it a lot, just so I don't have to log in every day. They're also talking about Kubros and their Kubros armor that is in the works, overall improvements to the Kubros stats, changing how stasis works, and having potential generic upgrades to the Kubros, or to the generic Foundry upgrades to the Kubros. So, I don't know, speculation, details, not much, but one thing they did confirm is there will be another Kubro down the pipeline, so expect that 5th Kubro sometime in the future, sometime soon, sometime trademark. And last but not least, this is something I wanted to say for last, the simplification of the star system. They went over it and they talked about, for an example, the star chart currently has 300 nodes. This 300 node system leaves a lot of them being left abandoned and unplayed by the majority of the community. leaving new players drifting in the ether by themselves, unable to complete some of these nodes that require 2 or more players. They want to reduce this by reducing the number of nodes in its entirety. For example, the 300 node system may go to something of a 20 node system. This is an example that Steve gave, not that I am exaggerating or anything. Something around 20 nodes, maybe more. And I am very for this idea. I'm not sure how it's going to happen, but it seems very refreshing and very healthy for the game, especially in its current state. And no idea if this will be good, will this be bad, only time will tell, and we'll see how this occurs. So that pretty much does it for the Warframe Digest episode 33. Tell me if you like this small, shorter, condensed, really accelerated format, and give me some opinions down below, whether you like the whole entire new visual style and things of that nature. Words, can I even? Apparently never. So, like, comment, subscribe, share it with your friends, tell me what you think, and see you guys in game, and take it easy, Tano.